get started. Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us today for this very exciting webinar that we're about to have. We do like to do this little activity with our folks that are signing in. And I know as people are continuing to sign in, just find that Q&A section at the bottom of the screen and let us know where you're coming in from. Sometimes we have people joining in from right around the corner from each other. So do let us know in that Q&A. I see some folks already jumping in and putting in their answers. So James is coming from Valrico. We have Daryl from Montreal, Canada. Some folks from San Antonio. Moses from Queens, New York. I know we have some folks joining in from Belize as well. Just continue to let us know in the Q&A section where you're jumping in from around the world, and we will continue to let you folks know where folks are joining in. Right here, we are, while folks continue to join in on the webinar today, we have more folks coming in from, I see somebody joining in from Nicaragua. That's really exciting. Vancouver, Canada, Rosemary, thank you for joining us today. We have Tiara coming in from Utah and Chuck from Massachusetts. So while I find the cursor here to jump in, my name is Michael Fuller. I am the marketing manager of ECI Development. I recently joined the company about 6 months ago, but it feels like a lifetime already. And I've been with some amazing folks throughout the journey, just getting my hands involved on all of our projects around Latin America. I'm a born Belizean, and I've been mainly on the mainland for most of my life, but recently moved out to Ambergris Key, San Pedro, where I'm enjoying a little bit of the salt life and being involved at our hub here in Belize. I also have two amazing hosts joining me today. We have Ivan Levy on the line and Yakarelis Hernandez, aka Yaka. So Ivan, do you want to introduce yourself to us? Not sure if you're on mute there, Ivan. But Yaka, would you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Sure. So hi, everyone. Like Michael said, my name is Yakarelis. I am mainly known as Yaka. It's sort of easier because I understand my name is a little bit long and sometimes complicated for folks to pronounce. I am a born Nicaraguan. So this webinar is pretty close to home. I've been living in Belize for most of my life. So, you know, I'm sort of like in and out of Belize and Nicaragua, loving the both countries. And whenever I can talk about Nicaragua in itself, I am pouring out my heart out. I went to Nicaragua about a couple of years ago to study. Then I came back, and one of the things I realized that I didn't do is while living there, I didn't really enjoy the country as much. So one of my main goals the last time I was there was to visit and vacation like a local tourist. And let me tell you guys, it's a great place to be, and I'm excited for today's webinar. And we do hope you enjoy it.
Great. Ivan, I'm not sure if you got your mic situated there.
Hear me now?
Yes, we can. Okay, it seems like it's a little bit in and out there, Ivan, but Ivan is one of our property consultants at ECI. He's joined the sales team recently and has been running on the ground, pushing and letting people know about these amazing Latin American countries that we are involved in. Ivan, when you get your mic situated, then we will have you introduce yourself to everybody. So just jumping in right here, as many of you may know, we have the ECI portfolio continues to grow. We have amazing projects all around Latin America, from Belize to Panama, but our main focus today is on Nicaragua and letting you folks know a little bit more about the country and things to do there from firsthand experience from Yaka and some of the folks on the ground, but also to let you know about 3 amazing communities that we have available right now for you to look at. Of course, sometimes you don't necessarily get to see some of the other big players on the screen, but I do want to mention our executive team here, Michael Cobb, our CEO and co-founder, along with Joe Nagel, our co-founder and legal advisor, who started this company about 24 plus years ago, and really has carried us into doing all of these amazing things at ECI and throughout Latin America. We do have a new face on the team here, Michael Betta. I know there's a lot of Michaels going around, but Michael Betta comes on board as our Chief Operating Officer and is just working along with our VP of Operations, Valeria Espinosa, on ensuring that everything runs smoothly for when we're offering these different types of investment opportunities to you folks. Patrick Hebert, who's not an unfamiliar face, it has moved on to our role of the Chief Design Officer to ensure that these different projects that and properties that we're building are up to standard, and of course, just making them the most beautiful types of projects out there that you folks would be interested in. Of course, we have our superstar Rachel Jensen, who you've probably seen on many of these webinars before. She is continuing to work as our VP of Sales and Marketing, and we'll pop on later for some of the questions and answers that you folks will have. I know that there are, this screen right here might not be able to really see everybody's name on here, but I do want to let you folks know that our company continues to grow and we're expanding exponentially right now, especially with every new product and project that we have going on, just so that everything runs smoothly and so that we are offering the best of the best to all of you out there. So welcome. A little bit about Nicaragua and what we're going to talk about today. One of the main questions we like to ask at this point is, have you ever wished that you had invested in a beachfront community in the 90s? Now, I know I might not have firsthand experience in that, but a lot of folks we ask this question because investment opportunities probably back in the 90s were a little bit more budget friendly. Things were just starting to boom off, and especially for beachfront properties. I mean, just being out here on the island and enjoying some of that salt life. I mean, you could see a lot of tourism happening, a lot of people wanting to just come in and explore, get their toes dirty with some sand, and enjoying that, what the sea and the communities have to offer. But just know that there are different opportunities that are available right now that are still really budget friendly and really still have that, maybe even more of an advantage now with tourism booming in these countries. To get you guys a little bit up to date with stuff happening in Nicaragua, it is the largest country in Central America. So we're talking about 800 plus kilometers. So that's a lot of places to visit in this country. I mean, from top to south, east to west, and even central, there's something to do for everybody. One of the main reasons why folks want to come and look at places like Nicaragua is because it's actually one of the safest places in the Americas. So there's this perception that Nicaragua and other Latin American countries might be unsafe, and you might be seeing things on the news and on the media, but do some of your own research and look into what's really going on. Nicaragua is actually, I mean, really, it's one of the safest countries apart from Costa Rica and other Latin American countries where might seem like it's unsafe. So this is second safe in the Americas next to Canada. Tourism continues to grow in countries like Nicaragua. It's on the spotlight. People are looking to go and explore, especially when there's a lot of untouched land. There's a lot of places to visit, a lot of jungle tours, surfing opportunities. I know a lot of people look at Nicaragua and places like our Gran Pacifica property for surfing opportunities and just being in the water. And if you're a foodie like me, going into a new country is always something that I look forward to try out new foods, new experiences, meeting new people. We've seen a bunch of amazing friendly people, from our team members back in Nicaragua to those that some of our guests they interact with from time to time. some of the friendliest people in the world. So just know that there is always somebody there to help and advise and show you around and let you know what is there to experience in a beautiful country like Nicaragua. And as a bonus, I know a lot of people who are looking for investment opportunities overseas always look at health as one of the major give or takes on whether or not they will make a decision. So Nicaragua is actually JCI accredited, which means that they are up to standards, American standards, North American standards when it comes to healthcare in this Latin American country.
Awesome. So I guess it's now my turn. So why Nicaragua? Nicaragua is one of those countries that it's kind of been, not looked at as much as, Costa Rica or let's say Belize, for example. But Nicaragua, it's truly very special. And it's not just because it's coming from me, but Nicaragua has so many things to offer, so many adventures for you as a tourist or as an investor to look at. In Nicaragua, we have, the questions about safety, the questions about affordability, the cost of living, and our natural and historical treasures, which we will be touching in a few, and the climate. One of the things, the climate in Nicaragua is great all year round. So it's, it's your perfect 80 degrees and there's no snow. If you are one of those folks that are trying to escape from the snow and the cold, it's a perfect place to visit. Right, so like it says here, it's a gem in the heart of the tropics. Right, Nicaragua has a very strategic geographic location. It's in the center of Central America. It is one of the largest countries in Central America, and it's a very easy way to travel from anywhere in the Americas, from North America, from South America. It's very close to Panama and Costa Rica. So it's a great place to make those connections if you ever want to visit. It's not a long flight. If you're coming from Miami, probably it's 2 hours long. If you're coming from Panama, it's an hour, and so forth, right? So we do have direct flights in Nicaragua. But with the COVID situation, it's kind of put a dent on it. However, it is still great to travel to Nicaragua because in Nicaragua, the only thing that is required is to present a negative test, and then the mask is not really mandated. There are people that are walking with their mask, there are some that don't, so it's not very an obligation. I have friends and family there that, they talk to me every day, every week, and I'm asking them how the situation of COVID is there. And they're like, well, there are people that will put on their masks, there are people that won't. It's the government's not really pressing on its citizens to wear the mask, So I think it's a great bonus for people who want to, escape our current situations. So here we have a map of Nicaragua. Like we mentioned, Nicaragua is one of the biggest countries in Central America. As you can see there, Managua, it is the capital of the country, and it's about an hour and a half from Gran Pacifica. So it's not that much of a long ride. And one of the great things over the past couple of years is that the paved road, we've had paved roads to Gran Pacifica, so the ride is a lot smoother. So you'll get there faster.
I was just about to say that it's about 45 minutes to an hour now, because if you've been on an unpaved road and traveling for long distances, you'll know that it takes a lot longer to reach certain places. But with a paved road, you'll know that there's a big difference in reaching our Gran Pacifica property from Managua, since the roads are paved now.
So here's a little quiz for our viewers today. Have you ever been to Nicaragua? So please go to the Q&A and type in A for yes or B for not yet. And as you're typing in your answers, I'll just elaborate a little bit more. So in Nicaragua, there's so much things to do. Like I mentioned, we have from visiting historical sites to leisure sites. You can go surfing, you can go visit all the volcanoes. So Nicaragua, it is known for its lakes and volcanoes. It is something that I, rather enjoy saying. in Belize, we don't have volcanoes. I mean, we're not hoping for one to erupt at any moment, but it's so great to see this amazing site. For me, I've been volcano boarding, and let me tell you guys that it is an experience, an adventure in itself. It takes about an hour to go up the volcano. This is at Cerro Negro. It's one of the volcanoes in Nicaragua. And then the only way to come down is either to the board, sitting on the board, or surfing like our guy on the upper right picture there. So let's see these questions.
It looks like actually most of the viewers today have not been to Nicaragua, which means that there is so much opportunity and things for you to see. I mean, I haven't been to Nicaragua as yet, and I'm looking forward to do exactly that volcano surfing. That looks like right up my alley. Sand and sea, just give me some some surfing, and I'm down for that. That's a great opportunity, folks who have not been there yet, to come and see this country for yourself, to experience all of these amazing things that you could do in Nicaragua.
Okay, so again, we go back to why Nicaragua, and right here we're just going to touch a little bit more of emphasis of why Nicaragua is a great place to visit and to invest or even retire. So like we said, Nicaragua is one of the safest countries in the tropics. As a personal experience, I moved to Nicaragua when I was 18 for school. I attended school there for about 3 years. Coming into Nicaragua, I was a little bit, new to it because I hadn't been there since I was a child. So the language for me and the environment was a little bit, sort of unknown, but I managed to adapt quickly. My family and the friends I've made there throughout the years really helped me push through. As I grew up in Belize, our first language is English. So going into Nicaragua, their first language is Spanish. So people say, oh, you're from Nicaragua, so you should know how to speak Spanish. Yeah, I can talk Spanish with my family, but it's sort of a different element when you're talking to a professor or your neighbor there, right? They definitely could tell I didn't grow up in Nicaragua, but I stick to my roots and I'm very proud of it. And I would walk home from school and from everywhere, from my friend's house to school to the supermarket by myself. And it's a little neighborhood. Everybody knows you. So, you can easily feel welcome. One of the things in Nicaragua, the people are super humble. They're very nice. They will help you. And that is one of the beauty that we'd like to showcase Nicaragua and the people, right? Also, we talk about affordable real estate. So in Nicaragua, Michael was saying, the homicide rate is very low because people, I believe, it's all about perception at the end of the day. People believe that because Nicaragua is in Central America, it's not safe. It is very safe. And it does give you that opportunity to invest, right? So the real estate market is not booming, but it is a perfect time to, buy or invest in a property so that, you can retire if you wish. And it is very inexpensive.
I think one of the great things to note there too is if you're looking at beachfront property in a place like California, if you're looking at beachfront property in North America on a whole, you're looking at prices that are up in the millions for something similar that we're offering at Gran Pacifica. So there's a huge price difference between there, especially, and you're getting the same standards, you're getting the same type of amenities, you're getting everything that you would need up to par to what you would find at a beachfront property in somewhere like California or San Diego.
One of the other benefits when it comes to Nicaragua, it's extremely low cost of living. It is surprising to say that, people are like, is it really that inexpensive? It honestly is. As for me, for example, when I lived there, I had the opportunity to live with my family. So, my cost of living wasn't as much. But I did my research as well, because maybe one day I would like to move to Nicaragua. It's a great place to visit, to retire. And for a couple, let's say for a couple, it's approximately 2,500 US a month. What would be your cost of living? You know, it all depends on your lifestyle, right? Whether it's just the luxury or, you know, standard living. But it's very, very inexpensive. And I mean, for what I would get here for a breakfast, lunch, and dinner, I can get there in a week, you know, in a week meal plan portion. You know, it's sometimes people are like, are you sure? I'm like, I'm sure. If you want, you can come with me and I'll show you. I have proof that it's a very low cost of living in Nicaragua. And then we move on to, you know, Nicaragua is full of their natural and historical treasures. One of the oldest cities is Granada, which will touch more bases on that. And the cathedral, which is based in one of the cities that I grew up in as a child. And it does have one active volcano. So apart from the other volcanoes in Nicaragua, I think it's a pretty safe place. And of course, like I mentioned, the climate in Nicaragua is pretty amazing all year round.
So this is actually one of my favorite charts that we always show in some of our webinars, because when you're looking at investing overseas, you have to really think about the type of investment that you want to make. Something that's already in a market that's already mature, and tourism is booming like crazy. Tourism for the past 20, 30 to 30 years, where you can guarantee that you will be getting some form of cash flow. You'll want to look above this curve here in places like Mexico and the Pacific, Costa Rica. But when you look at the price tag, that's where stuff gets really expensive, because these are places where, I mean, people have invested over, like I said, the past 20 to 30 years. And so there's a lot less opportunity to find what you're really looking for. And a lot less people are wanting to invest in countries where there's such more competition when it comes to what's being offered. But if you're looking for a sweet spot, if you're looking for a place with an emerging market where the levels of appreciation are pretty high, where you're finding stuff that's more budget friendly, that also has tourism looking to boom in these countries, you're wanting to look a little bit more around the middle of this this curve here, in places like Belize, but also look toward the end in places like Nicaragua, because for example, our property at Gran Pacifica, we've been in the business there for the past 13 to 15 years. And so we've already had a booming tourism industry within our own community, within our own project. And people have been coming constantly. I mean, just if you have the chance to look up Gran Pacifica, you'll see that it's a highly popular place. People want to go again to experience that surfing, experience the things that it can do on set, and just in general in the country in Nicaragua, where, because tourism is steadily booming and steadily growing, that cash flow is still coming in through your investment. So if you're looking for a place where you're not having to necessarily break the bank, but also be able to invest smart and efficient so that you can get back that cash flow with booming tourism happening in the country and so many things to do. I mean, 800 kilometers of things to do in Nicaragua. Then you'll look toward more at the bottom of that curve and look at places like Nicaragua to make your investment in.
Right, and like Michael said, it's 8,000 kilometers of
800,000
kilometers of adventure seeking. So here's, you know, the general map of Nicaragua and one of the, I guess, 6 top cities within the country. So we have Leon, which is home to the oldest cathedral in the Americas. You know, Leon, I actually have pictures at the top of this cathedral. It offers great tour sites. You can go to the top of the cathedral. Within the cathedral, there's several games, for lack of a better word, to do. And then there's also an underground tunnel. This underground tunnel in the cathedral was used for, the refugees from the Civil War that happened in the 70s. So it is a very historic city. It is also known as a university city in Nicaragua. This is the place where students from all over Nicaragua come for their free education, and that's one of the great benefits as a Nicaraguan, and even as a tourist, you can, for foreigners, school is very inexpensive here as well. Then we reached to Managua, which is the capital of Nicaragua. It is a very metropolitan city. One of the things that they have is a lot of roundabouts or rotundas. So every 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, you see another rotunda. It's quite interesting. It's a very busy city. So it's like a city that never sleeps, and it's very central. So from Managua, you go to all these other places, to all these other cities. And then we move on to Masaya, which is, it's a very colorful community. In Masaya, what we have is one of the fortresses that was built in protection from the pirates of the Caribbean, that came in to, invade these colonial cities. And also we do have Corn Island. So one of the things in Nicaragua, you have land or sea, and we here are in between the Pacific Ocean and the Caribbean Ocean. And then that's where Corn Island comes into play. It's, very opposite from the Pacific. You have white sandy beaches, you have clear waters for divers. And at this point, this is where people can go and dive and explore this side of the country. And then we move on to Granada, which is one of the oldest cities in the Americas. It's very colonial, like most buildings in Nicaragua are colonial. One of the things that its citizens have stuck to is, keeping the history of the monuments, the history of their houses. In Granada, there's a corner where you turn and there's this building where there you still see little patch holes from the war. They've chosen to continue and making sure that, when people come into Nicaragua, see it's full of history. And that's one of the beauty of it. And one of the things I think it's great to know, and you can do your own research as well. And then also we do have San Juan del Sur, because for those who probably have visited, like beach, this is a very cosmopolitan place. It's very relaxed for maybe if you visited places like Belize, or for my Belizean friends that are here. It is very some hamburger ski lifestyle. It's very carefree. You can enjoy most of the gastronomy of Nicaragua in any of these cities, really. One of the things Michael said, he's a foodie, and I'm as well, and I'm sure we have people on the line too that are foodies. Nicaragua's gastronomy is amazing, guys. I've even tried a couple of meals that I wanted to do since I can't get there yet. But one of my goals is to get there and, just tasting something from home, which makes you, really appreciate it. And also within these cities, we have, like I was mentioning, we have the volcano boarding. We can visit the oldest cathedral as well. There's also from diving, you can, if you're not a diver, then you can experience surfing. Even if you're not a surfer, it is just amazing to sit down at the beach and watch these waves roaring in. It's just a great moment to be. Then you also have Laguna De Apoyo, which is on your way from Masaya to Granada. It is actually the Laguna De Apoyo, from what I was told, it is a collapsed volcano. So if the volcano obviously is, the tip is at the top, then for some reason it collapsed. So now it became a lake. I've been to this lake as well. It's very cold, but it's a great experience. It's adventure for those people seeking for adventures. Nicaragua is a great place to visit.
And now we're jumping into our Gran Pacifica property. at the Pacific coast of Nicaragua. Here is a snapshot, a small little nugget of where we are on the Pacific coast. There are some great amenities to do on site, and I know Yaka will jump into a little bit more on this in a bit with her experience being in Nicaragua. But just to get you folks a little up to date on what's going on at Gran Pacifica, there is stuff to do for every member of your family, for every friend and partner. There's literally everything to do in one spot. I mean, from golfing, we had the other day, one of our property consultants, his daughter was learning to golf on site. And I know some of our other property consultants are in training too to learn. Surfing happens right on the beach. I mean, you just go out there. There are two major surf spots, and there's the meat grinders surf spot for experienced surfers, people who are looking for those high waves to ride. I mean, mile-long waves. There's a lot of boating and fishing happening on site, as you can see in that bottom right image. There's stuff to do for the entire family out there. And one of my personal favorite activities to do, and I must do it when I go, you have to remind me when we get together, Yaka, is to do horseback riding on the beach. So here we have just a few more photos of folks just enjoying the property at Gran Pacifica, at the swimming pool, at our restaurant, but also on the golf course out there at Gran Pacifica. So there is about 3.5 miles of beach front. So just put that into perspective for a bit. That's a long stretch of land, where all of that beachfront, you're able to go and whether it's swimming or fishing or wanting to catch those waves, there's something to do, even for just watching sunsets. We wanted to have earlier a background of one of the sunsets in Nicaragua because it's breathtaking. They're beautiful. I mean, you're getting all of those perfect colors that you get with the perfect sunset out there on that beachfront. The entire property is around 2,500 acres. Again, it's on the Pacific coast. You'll get that in between of hot and dry weather all year round. And you'll get some showers in there too to cool you off. But like I said, the beach is right there where folks can just go out and enjoy the Pacific Ocean.
Right. And like we mentioned, it's central to cities and sites in Nicaragua. And one of the benefits also is that Gran Pacifica, it's not far from the international airport. So again, it's a very smooth ride from there and to go there. Of course, one of the amenities that we also offer, and Michael has mentioned, is the golfing. You know, it's a very popular sport in Nicaragua, especially in Gran Pacifica. We see a lot of pictures from our property consultants on site and the operations management on site as well, you know, sending pictures of, you know, owners and visitors that are enjoying the amenities at Gran Pacifica. And, you know, it's a great community to be a part of, you know, and we can go on and on. It's just, I think it's a great place to be. And there's neighborhoods for everyone's lifestyle, you know, for everybody's options, how they want, whether it's retirement, whether it's visiting on a yearly basis, or however, there is a place for everyone.
And just one of the great things about, I know we've touched base on golfing quite a bit, but one of the great things is with our Gran Pacifica communities, we work a lot with the community outside of our community. And one of the great things that we did, I believe it was last month, was a tournament, an annual tournament that we have with the Rotary Club back in Nicaragua. So that was really exciting for us to help raise funds and have just a bunch of people who have not necessarily come to our property to come and view it and experience some of the great things that we have there, but also contributing back to the community and helping out as much as we can.
Right.
So again, just some photos of activities and stuff happening in Nicaragua. the bottom left is one of the more exciting photos here, where some folks from our Momotombo residences got to move into their home. So we had our Momotombo inauguration last month as well. So it was really exciting getting Mike Cobb out there, our VP of Operations Valero's out there, and some homeowners just to go in, cut their ribbon, and enjoy their new space at Gran Pacifica.
And you can see at the bottom right, so like that view, this picture does no justice to the view, guys. It is completely amazing. Again, one of our property consultants is there on site, and she was on one of the webinars this past month. She showed us an actual view of how it looks like. I mean, it's amazing. It's just, great. I would love to wake up to a sunrise or go to bed watching a beautiful sunset in Gran Pacifica. It's just magnificent. And also one of the things that we've added in Gran Pacifica is a shuttle service.
Mhm.
This is something that's new, or it's being relaunched. Thank you. It's being relaunched where if you're a resident at Gran Pacifica, there's a schedule, and if you can reach out to Webinar IDCI Development to learn more about this, where you basically, look at the schedule at what time the shuttle service is going to go out and what time it's going to come back, which is approximately, it gives you about an hour or so, depending on what all you have to do in the cities. If you want to go shopping outside, and it's quite, I think it's quite a great addition to Gran Pacifica. Sometimes you may be in the community or in your neighborhood and like, maybe I want to go into Managua. I want to go find something there that I probably won't have here in Gran Pacifica. So you can definitely reach out and, see what time best accommodates your schedule.
Yeah, that's one of the, I was excited when that came on board. One of the new, or like you said, we launched items that we have there on site for folks to not feel like they're stuck.
Right.
We love our communities at Gran Pacifica, but we also want you to experience the country. So the shuttle service is really, really great, a great addition for you to do that.
And then, guys, this is the master plan of Gran Pacifica, of the community in a whole. As you can see, if you can follow the cursor here, we have our teak farms, and then we move on to MILA, to Las Perlas, Oceanfront Village, Playa Pacifica, San Diego Viejo, Santa Barbara, Bella, and Ava. And we're going to touch more into what is MILA, Ava, and Bella in this webinar. So this is just an overview of where the neighborhoods are located.
And here we're going to jump on into the Ava community. Rachel or Ivan, are you on there?
Are you guys able to hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. I'm here as a plan B too in case you need me. So just let me know, Ivan, or Michael.
Thank you, Rachel. Yeah, jump in if I start getting all garbly again. But thank you so much, Michael and Yaka. So far, you guys have done an amazing job, because I have been learning right along with our viewers just now some information about Nicaragua. So this has been quite a fun presentation. But I'm excited to get into talking about these three communities, the three sisters, I call them, of Gran Pacifica, Ava, Bella, and MILA. And the first one that we're going to get started with here is Ava. So do I have control, Michael, or will you be flipping the slides for me?
Oh, I think that their internet may have went down. All right, folks, quick bathroom break. I am going to get the webinar up here so we can just continue on. So quick bathroom break, go grab water. I'm gonna get that up and open, and we will continue right on. All right, sorry, let me just download it. All right. In the meantime, guys, why don't we just do it while this is all loading? Why don't we do a quick Q&A here? Type into that control panel if you're looking to either relocate to Nicaragua or if perhaps you are looking to just invest there. I know we tend to get quite a few different owners on the line, so just curious to hear. This is all trying to load here.
Hi there, guys. Managed to come back on.
Perfect. I was just trying to download the presentation, so nicely done. I'll have it up though, just in case. You know, that's the thing about being in Latin America, and I'm going to tell you guys this right now. I'm trying to get my video on here too. Oh, that's because I didn't plug it in. But the thing about being in Latin America is you really have to learn to be patient. And I remember one of the best pieces of advice I received, and it was actually probably a little even too late. It was already after I was spending significant amounts of time in Latin America. And somebody said to me, remember to pack your patience. Remember to pack your patience. And Betsy, one of our other coworkers, is over here nodding her head too. Here's the video. So Betsy over here is nodding her head too. But that was one piece of advice that we always remember to go back to, because it is easy to get frustrated and just to get yourself really worked up about things. And remember, you're supposed to be spending more time overseas to relax and unwind and get out of the rat race. So all right, it looks like we're back at it over here. I am going to mute myself, stop my video, and Ivan will just jump right back into the presentation. Thanks everyone for your patience. Hope you got water and whatever else you needed to do.
Thank you, Rachel. All right, everybody, I think I have control here, so let's go ahead and get started. All right, so Ava, as I mentioned, is our first of the eco-friendly communities. It stands for Village Asuchiyo. It is an oceanside and riverside tiny eco-home community near the Asuchiyo Surf Beach. You heard Michael and Yaka talk a little bit about the different activities that are available on site, and one of those main ones is surfing. If you are an advanced surfer, you live on the Pacific coast as well, maybe in North America, then you have meat grinders. That's for the advanced surfers there. But Ava is actually located on Asuchiyo Beach, which is for beginner surfers. And so you can get all your training done out there. If you want to dip your toes in the water, so to speak, you can get that done there at Asuchiyo. And some features about Ava. So it's going to feature a common area with a restaurant, bar, and a natural pool. As Michael mentioned, we like to create these individual little communities, but we like to also create, this sense of being part of that community. We want you all to get to know your neighbors. We want you all to interact. And so creating these common spaces is very central to all of our development processes. And so we try to make sure that you have everything you need and you're comfortable and just in paradise, really. As mentioned, we have world-class surf beaches nearby. It is a river and oceanside property very close by to the Pacific Ocean, to the beach. And then there's also a river that traverses through the rear portion of the property. These homes are fully off-grid. So that means they are completely powered by solar energy. They are natural renewable energy. And the batteries there are able to last for several days. So that was the question that I get all the time about them being off the grid. The homes can last without power for several days. And, just because they're solar powered doesn't mean that when there's a cloudy day, there's not going to be, any energy generated. The homes are meant to last. They are sustainable, and they are built of a high quality. And as mentioned, part of those common areas are the sustainable orchards and gardens. Again, this idea of living off the earth, sustainable living, green living is central to the Ava and the other eco communities that we are creating here. And of course, that's also awesome. A wonderful starting price of under $95,000 there, as you can see, makes it very, very affordable, a very, very affordable option for many people. And the next slide here. So talking about that sustainable living aspect. So you will have your green roofs. All of these tiny homes come standard with the green roof, which adds just that little natural eco feeling to the home. It adds a nice aesthetic, but it also has function. It increases the insulation and the efficiency of the tiny home, just making sure that all the energy that you are generating in the home is being used properly. There's gray water recycling. So the homes are set up to reuse the water from your kitchen sink, from the bathroom. It filters that water water, and then that's what waters the plants and your green roof. So throughout the year, you know, we're just reusing natural resources to make sure that your home stays pristine and beautiful. And so yeah, you're able to grow your own food, grow your own gardens right there on site. If you're going to be living at your Ava home, you can just make this your own little secluded area to live in. And off-grid living, this is something that has been very popular over the past year. A lot of people are looking to sort of get out of the rat race, disconnect from everyday life, and they want an option that lets them, you know, just be one with nature. And our motto at Gran Pacifica is just push pause, because that's what you get to do there. You just push pause on life and just enjoy and coast by. And so this is our an aerial overview, the master plan of the Ava community. As you can see, the homes for pod number 1, most of them have been reserved. But we do still have a special one available there, number 42. And I do want to sort of point out the 2 differences here for everybody who's looking at ownership opportunities at Ava. You know, you really want to think what's going to work better for you. Are you someone who's a bit more adventurous, outgoing? You know, you want to be close to where all the action is. I would suggest consider something like home site 42 over there, because you'll notice that home is closer to the common spaces, the pool area, the restaurant, and that's where everybody's going to be congregating. It's also going to be a co-working space. We get a lot of digital nomads that are interested in ownership here, and so this pod is definitely going to be sort of where all the action is, a little bit more of the action group. But if you're looking at pod number 2 here to the right, and you can see some new lots just became available over the weekend. We released lots 70 to 80. Those home sites are available now. My preferred one here are 76 and 77. I'm someone who likes to be a bit more on the secluded side. I like to be closer to nature. And so you can see here, there's going to be a butterfly garden. There's a little ridge on this side, so that gives you a little added privacy. So really, there's so much here. There's something for everybody. That's something that's very central and common, a common theme that you'll see for Gran Pacifica, that there's variety, there's options. So really think about that, guys. If you're looking at ownership of a tiny home, again, you can choose pod 1. There's home site 42 there that is available. And then you also have the home sites like 76 and 77. You know, get in touch with your property consultants. If you don't have one, please reach out to us directly at webinar@ecidevelopment.com. And someone will be in touch with you to provide you with the different options in more detail there. Oh, I am not able to switch slides there. Would you help me out, Michael? Thank you. And so these are just some of the different images there of the common spaces, like I mentioned. Let me go one step back here. Can we go one slide back, Michael? Yes, that one right there. Thank you. So yeah, these are some renderings here of the different common spaces that you're going to be seeing there. Like I mentioned, that is the restaurant area that has the passive pool, and that's located closer towards the river as well. And then you have some renderings there of the interiors of some of the home sites. All right, and then the opportunities that are available. So starting with the Perico model, that is we call that the true tiny home because it is quite small there. It's just under 300 square feet of interior space, but it is the lead room type here that we have. And so it is starting at just under 95,000 as mentioned. Turnkey price all in, you're looking at just under 105,000. And there you can see the HOA fee for all the homes is $148 monthly. This is a bit more of the compact, highly efficient home. It has a little loft area as well. And so you can see there it does have that box figure, the rooftop area, and the solar panels there at the top. Those gardens are what I mentioned are that are connected to your gray water recycling system. And so those are the gardens that do get watered from your home use. The next model there is the Laura model. This has been quite popular amongst the different owners. And that is the next model there, starting at just under 100,000. Turnkey price is just under 110,000. This is the single floor model, very standard with the rooftop patio there, just adds that extra space. It's different from the Perico. It's a little larger and it does not have that loft. It has the true one bedroom layout that you'd be finding. So if you're wondering the difference between the two, that would be sort of the main difference there, aside from the aesthetic differences on the exterior. And then Halcon is one of my favorites. It is the loft model that we have available. It's a little more, to me, a little futuristic looking, a bit more modern, and I love the balcony space at the top. That one is going for 101,900. Turnkey price of just under 112,000. Very open feel design, very much higher ceiling, so it makes the space feel a lot larger. And then we move forward to the most popular of the models there. This has been very popular for two main reasons. One, it is a 2-bedroom model, and the second part of that is that it lends itself very well for rental. A lot of the owners are definitely looking to spend time in the country for extended period of time, but they also want to rent out their homes. And having a 2-bedroom tiny home, let me tell you, that's going to be a definite winner for those renters. They're able to, have their own privacy, but if they have friends visiting, if they have children, they have a larger family, they have the option there of still being able to experience the off-the-grid lifestyle, and then they have space for additional relatives and guests as well. And the Macaw model starts at 132,900, turnkey price of just under 145,000. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Those are your Ava models there that are available for ownership. All right, and so construction continues. This is another question that we get a lot of, how far along everything is in the community itself. And so as you can see, we've had several homes that are already under construction. There are different stages of construction because you'll be receiving a brochure for Ava if you haven't seen that already, and it does highlight, and we'll go through it at the end of the presentation as well, your payments are made along with the construction timeline. And so as the house is getting constructed, you can rest assured that you are you're only going to be able to send money for the construction as it's being done. And so as you can see here, there's very different stages that all these different homes are in, and you do receive monthly updates as a owner of where your home is and where the development is as a whole as well. All right, now we're going to jump over to the big sister here, MILA, which stands for Modern Innovative Lifestyle Alternative. MILA came about as a result of the interest that we received from Ava. We had a lot of people, as I mentioned, interested in that off-grid, eco-friendly lifestyle, but they're also interested in moving down and living in the country, and they want to bring down, their home appliances. They have some things from home that they would like to bring down, and unfortunately, those wouldn't all fit in tiny homes. And so our team was able to quickly put together a wonderful, a well thought out new option for them. And those were the MILA homes here. They're considered mini homes, which is the next tier above the tiny home models. And so let's just get right into it and discuss MILA. So it's a bit more luxurious than Ava, not as rustic, still eco-friendly. And we call these, like I said, the right size homes because they fit in that category between a tiny home, a true tiny home, and a much larger standard family home. They are ranging between 800 to about 1,400 square feet. And they provide a hybrid solar system as opposed to the off-grid, completely off-grid system that is available. So they can switch off the grid if you want to just use solar power, or you can switch on the grid as well. The choice is yours. So that just gives a little bit more option there. Community-centric recreation is also, like we mentioned, community is at the heart of what we do. We want to make sure everybody is happy and feeling like they belong in the community and that they're a part of it. MILA is located a short walk from the beach, just about 5-10 minutes walk from the beach. It is closer to our golf courses that are on Gran Pacifica, so most of the homes do have views of the golf course there. So if there's any golfers on the line, this would be a definite good option for you. And then both 1- and 2-story homes ranging between 1,100 and 1,400 square feet in 2- and 3-bedroom models, and we're going to go over those in just a minute so you can see what the difference is there. And see, as you can see there, that is where the MILA community is located, just a short walk, a couple of blocks down from the beach area there. And so who's the right person who's looking at a MILA home or ownership of a MILA home, or really ownership of any of the properties at Gran Pacifica? It's someone like Michael mentioned who has that foresight to want to own property internationally in a market that hasn't necessarily been discovered, but is growing. With growing tourism, you're gonna see that you're gonna have the appreciation of your real estate, as well you're gonna have that rental revenue that's coming in, creating passive income for you. And so Nicaragua is really exactly what Michael said. It's right at the sweet spot of being that perfect opportunity for you to be able to make a purchase that is going to pay for itself and also provide you with some passive income as the years go by. Most visitors intentionally seek the eco-friendly alternatives, and that's why we've created these options here of Ava, BELA, and MILA. We saw a huge interest for ownership of property like that, and so we're seeing a lot of people that are still interested, still wanting to move forward, and so more of these communities are also in the works as well. And like I mentioned, we're offering both off-grid and hybrid power. You receive access to high-speed internet. There's so much, as Yaka and Michael mentioned, to do, both on-site and in the general area and really in the country abroad. And MILA is definitely ideal for those digital nomads who want to be living in the country for a much more extended period of time, and also want to have, like I mentioned, your family coming down to visit. You have a larger family, you want bigger space, perhaps a tiny home isn't ideal. A MILA home would definitely be something to consider there for everybody. All right, and here are some renderings there for you to take a look at for the exteriors, as you can see. And then some highlights there about the community, again, living in harmony with nature. That's at the core of what we're doing with these eco homes, creating a smaller footprint, being smart and efficient with our use. Patrick, our chief design officer, says that we are eco-sensible because the features that we're using, it's not just for a fad, it's not just for, to say that we're eco-friendly. It's really about making sure that your lifestyle is enhanced by it. You're living in a home that was built to make your life just that much easier, that much smoother, and so that's what these features provide. They're just an easier lifestyle there at Gran Pacifica. As I mentioned, hybrid or off-grid power is available, and then as is custom, we have our gardens and communal orchards that are being put into the master plan as well. So this is the master plan here for MILA. As you can see, several of the home sites have already been claimed. So if you're interested in ownership of the MILA homes here, guys, please reach out to your property consultant and let them know which home site you're interested in. Again, when looking at which property makes sense for you, really think about how you're going to be using your home and what your ultimate goals are. Are you really looking at being in the country for an extended period of time? Do you want to have the home here available for you whenever you need a change of pace or a change of scenery? Or is it really an investment model, right? Is that what you're looking for? And either way, you really can't go wrong, but do consider some options. So if you're looking at rentals, I would highly recommend you concentrate on the properties here that are closer to the pools and the clubhouse. Again, just imagine being able to rent your home and say, oh, my home is right across from the pool area as well. It has a view of the pool. It would just add more of it, just added extra amenities there for you to have for your home on the rental side there. But if you are also just thinking of, pushing pause, relaxing, consider one of the outer ring homes here. Like I mentioned, those look out straight towards the golf course, very serene, very beautiful, very calm. And so you'll always have that nice, relaxed view. So just think about what makes more sense for you, what your ultimate goals are, and then be in touch with your property consultant and let them know what you're thinking. All right, so the first model we have here is the Atlantis. This is a 2-bedroom, 2-bath model, just over 1,100 square feet, as you can see there, of interior space. I really love the open concept of this middle section here, where you have the kitchen, the living room. It's very spacious. You have the vaulted ceilings that just make the space look even larger. just amazing. I love it. And at a starting price of 149,000, turnkey after furniture and closing costs, you're just looking at 170,000 for a 2-bedroom residence here at Gran Pacifica that has the hybrid systems that we mentioned, very modern design, very elegant look there. As you can see, here's some of the interiors. Like I mentioned, those vaulted ceilings, absolutely beautiful. And it does make the space look or feel much larger than it really is. And another thing that we like to point out is you know, here in the tropics, it's really true. We do spend most of our time outside. You know, it's always warm, it's always sunny. We're always at the beach. We're always exploring, you know, climbing a volcano or something. It's always fun to be outside as opposed to inside. So while, again, tiny homes, mini homes might be a little too small for some people, do bear that in mind if you are considering life in the region. You're definitely going to be spending a lot more time outside having fun than just inside, you know, just being inside. There's so much more to do outside here in the tropics. And here's the other model that's been super popular, is the El Dorado. This is a 2-floor model here, 3-bedroom. As you can see from the rendering here on the right, the ground floor has a guest bedroom here, just behind the kitchen and living area. And then upstairs is where you would have the master bath that has its own private balcony. And then you have your 2nd bedroom as well, that has a small balcony looking out towards the front of the property. This model home starts at $179,900. Turnkey, you're looking at $207,205 all in for a 3-bedroom home on the Pacific Coast. Again, when you're looking at the ownership opportunities here in Nicaragua, remember, these are poised for appreciation in 10 years, 5, 10, 20, 30 years. Think long term. These homes are going to be worth so much more than you paid for. And during that time, you can also expect the tourism to continue growing in the country. A lot more eyes are going to be placed on the country, and people are going to want to travel there, which is only going to be better for your rentals as well. But I love this model house here, absolutely gorgeous. Love the finishings. And here's a look at one of the bedrooms, and then the rendering for the exterior here. One thing to note about these MILA homes, very important, is that the solar panels, notice that they're lying flat towards the back of the house. And so they're never going to be, you know, reflecting any sunlight towards us. You're walking down, and if anybody's ever had that happen to them before, but it is not pleasant. And so the solar panels are completely hidden. They're not in view of your neighbors or anything like that. And again, so you wouldn't even know that the home has a hybrid system unless you actually saw that from an aerial shot. But again, just another feature there that our developers took into consideration when making or when designing these homes. And here is an ROI estimate. Again, get in touch with your property consultant. Depending on the model that you're looking for, this can look a little bit different, but it is something, again, to review with your property consultant, because this will show you if you're financing. We offer up to 80% financing. You can take a look at what the expected return is going to be based on our industry standard cases and a conservative case that we like to provide everybody, just to give you a range there. And so you have an understanding. And then this is also a good segue that will allow you to open up the conversation for property management and rental management. There is a 70-30 split on the adjusted gross in your favor as an owner. So you do receive 70% of the gross revenue there. And then there are expenses deducted, as you can see here on the left-hand side. And then you're able to see your net operating income with your property consultant. Again, you can review and then decide if this is the right ownership opportunity for you. All right, here's some more renderings for you guys to look at. And of course, activities galore. There's so much to do at Gran Pacifica. And so ownership of any of the Gran Pacifica properties allows you access to all of the different amenities you're seeing here. Let me just go back before I jump into BELA. So a lot of where people do congregate is at the Las Perlas area. That's where the pool is. And then we also have the Sea Salt restaurant that's there. Again, another very popular location. We do receive outside guests that travel in specifically to come to Gran Pacifica, and they just spend the day there. They're at the restaurant. So you can meet a lot of people. You can enjoy yourself by the pool, take a surf lesson. Really, again, sky's the limit as far as activities to be done at Gran Pacifica. And then we're going to get into the last of the eco homes here, BELA, which stands for Beachfront Eco Lifestyle Alternative. And the BELA homes were, as mentioned, created similarly to the MILA homes. They were created out of a need to have a much larger and much more luxurious eco-friendly option for owners to consider. And so the BELA homes are mid-sized hybrid luxury homes. They're a bit larger, again, than the Ava models. And they're eco-conscious, as I mentioned. Eco-consciousness, eco-sensible is what we try to do with these homes. There are 3 different models. 2 of them are 2-bedroom options. One is a 3-bedroom. And of course, as the name implies, beachfront, that is where it's located, directly in front of the Asuchiyo beach. So you can wake up to that amazing, gorgeous view that Yaka was talking about every single day, watch amazing sunsets, head down to the beach right out your front door. So these homes really have been extremely popular for a multitude of reasons. It's just your ideal tropical sanctuary. And I'm going to take a look at the overall master plan so you guys can take a look at that and see what I mean. But surfing, beachcombing, swimming, again, so much to do. Sky's the limit. And like our other, like these sister properties as well, like these sister communities, sustainable gardens and shared community orchards, shared communal spaces, those are still going to be present here in the BELA community. And another important thing that we like to point out, just in case anybody didn't know, we do accept cryptocurrencies, guys. Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, you can own using your cryptocurrency. And also precious metals, for those of you who own gold, silver, palladium. Those are also avenues that you can use to secure your home purchase. All right, so the first of the 2-bedroom models here is the Aquarius, just under 900 square feet of interior space. I really like, one thing I like about these BELA homes is that they seem to be a good mix between that residential element where you can live there full time. You could live there for the entire year, for the rest of time, but it's also still, it lends itself very well to the rental aspect, to the overnight rentals. I come primarily from a hospitality background, and I can tell you something like this is definitely going to be very, very popular in the tourism market for the country. You have your master bedroom here towards the rear of the home with your master bath, 2nd bedroom here for your guests, washer dryer, of course, in the storage closet, and of course that open front entrance there. Absolutely gorgeous. The Aquarius model starts at about 320,000, just under 320,000. Turnkey, you're looking at $345,994. And the HOA fees for the BELA homes are $286 per month. So that is the Aquarius model. And here are some renderings of the interior there. Very modern, very simple, clean finishing, as you can see here. And another part that we like to point out, and I'll show it, you can see it here on the top left, the exteriors, we're going to be incorporating a lot of the teak hardwood finishing on the outside. Again, teak is a very high quality, durable hardwood that just adds another touch of luxury to these homes. All right, the Poseidon model is similar to the Aquarius, but notice it's a 3-bedroom. So you have an extra guest bedroom here at the front, and then the living and kitchen area layout does change up a little bit. This is much larger at 1,173 square feet of interior space. And they're starting at just under 350,000 for a turnkey price of just under 380,000. Again, for a 3-bedroom Pacific oceanfront residence there, eco-friendly residence, $380,000. If you compare apples to apples and you look at other destinations, like we mentioned, you are going to find that a similar residence will cost you double or triple the price there because those markets have been discovered. They, they're already booming with tourism, whereas Nicaragua is still relatively unknown. And so the price can be very, very attractive. You're going to expect to see that appreciation over time. And then you can expect to also see increased rentals over time. The interior of the Poseidon there, again, very similar finishing, very luxurious, very modern, and very clean. Absolutely love the ceiling and the different furniture that's being used here. Absolutely beautiful. And then last but certainly not least is the Apollo. And these are 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom options. By far the most luxurious of the different models. The Apollo is a 1,527 square foot residence, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, as I mentioned. You can see the different bedrooms here. Both the master and the second guest bedroom have that oceanfront terrace, so you can just sit right outside every morning, read a nice book, or in the evenings, just watching the sunset. And then you have some storage here towards the center where the third guest bedroom is, shared bathroom. Of course, you have that washer dryer there. And then there's this huge open space here that leads out to the oceanfront terrace. The Apollo residences are starting at about $390,000, and turnkey after furniture and closing, you are looking at about $423,000 there for the best of the best, the Apollo. And let me see if we have some renderings there just so that you can take a look. And as you can see, again, very similar, clean, luxurious finish, but just absolutely beautiful, absolutely gorgeous, with the teak hardwood that is included in there. Just beautiful. And let's see if we can go through the master plan here. All right, so as you can see, BELA is located directly, whoops, go one step back. BELA is located directly in front of the Ava community. And it is the beachfront version, as we mentioned, of the different communities there. So we have 5 different pods that are part of the master community there, but we are completing 1 pod at a time. And so the first one being pod number 1 there that has some availability, and you're going to take a look at the 3 here that we have. So one thing to point out, the Apollo residence, that's that 3-bedroom that I mentioned, 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom that has the 2 bedrooms on each wing. Those are only available here towards the center of the property. So numbers 5, 12, and 21, those are the only Apollo residences available. Here towards the wings of the different pods, you can choose either an Aquarius or a Poseidon model. So you still have the option of choosing either the 2-bedroom or 3-bedroom here on the wings, but towards the center, that is strictly going to be the Apollo residences that are available. And pod number 1 is just about sold out there. We have residence number 6 or home site number 6 that is available there. Guys, if you are interested, these are going to be the first homes that are constructed, so the first ones to be completed, therefore the first ones to cash flow. If you are interested in these ownership opportunities, please reach out, reference home site number 6 in BELA, and then have your property consultant get in touch with you. Or if you are really sold on that Apollo residence, I know I am, you know, number 12 is available as well. Reach out to your property consultant, ask some questions about that, and see if you are able to reserve it in advance. It is just a $2,500 refundable deposit to reserve any of the preferred home sites here. And similar to Ava and MILA, you do have a ROI estimate that we can provide you. Just reach out to your property consultant and they will provide you with the updated version based on the model that you are looking at. All right, and here are some more renderings. Oops, Michael, I may need you to jump in there again for me.
No problem, Ivan. I'll just go back a few slides.
Yep, thank you very much. And I think that wraps up the different ownership opportunities that we have. And Rachel is going to be jumping in here and letting you know what the next steps are for you to own your different home opportunities here.
All right, perfect. Thank you. All right, good. It looks like the camera's working now. So perfect. I just want to go through this with you. I know we're a little bit past, a lot of it past the hour here, and I do want to be respectful of everybody's time. But this is a question that does tend to pop up a lot: is how can I own the home, and what does that process look like? So, so for the next 5 minutes, we're going to just quickly go through this, and then I see, I think 31 questions here. So we're going to do our best to power through it. And then from there, if you're able to stay on, feel free to. If you have to bounce, totally understand that as well. But we'll just take this time all together to go through some of those very popular questions. So as many of you know, there is a staged payment schedule. So if Ava is speaking to you, maybe you like that tiny home concept, compact, efficient. Maybe you like BELA, you want something on the beach, you want to be able to accommodate your family or renters who are coming. Or maybe MILA, where you want a larger home compared to Ava, but you don't necessarily have the budget for BELA. Totally understand there are many options for you to be able to make this specific dream come true. The first one is there's a cash payment. You put $2,500 down, and then the following payments are scheduled to follow the construction progress. So I'm not going to get into too much of the details, but that is there on the screen. The other is we accept cryptocurrency, so Ethereum, Litecoin, Monero, Bitcoin, USDT, I think I got them all. We also have financing up to 80% financing with Key Bank. We also accept gold and silver, and then also self-directed IRA. So for those Americans on the line, you can use your IRA. Canadians, I'm sorry to tell you that you cannot, but there are still options for you to own. When you take a look at the site map, and I think Ivan, you did a great job at suggesting specific home sites and locations based on what somebody's looking for, and also specific floor plans based on what your ultimate goal is as an owner, we will send you the reservation form. You all have property consultants. They will reach out to you after the webinar here just to get your idea of what it is that you're looking at, because we understand they are so different. So we'll send you the reservation form. When you tell us you are interested, we'll send it back to you, and then you do complete it, email it back to us, and then we hold your reservation for you. Do note that we have 12 sales agents, and they are all actively talking to clients. So if you see something that is of interest, I know there's a couple of really nice locations there in Ava. I mean, all of them have really nice locations, but one that speaks to you more, then make sure you're getting that reservation filled out and sent back to your property consultant ASAP. Something else I would recommend doing too is text your property consultant if there's something that's really specific, because then that way it gets directly to their phone and not just sitting in the inbox. So I'm going to jump to the next slide here. I think I got the slides figured out. All right, if you do want to finance, we have up to 80% financing available. We work with a bank here in Belize called Key Bank. Now, do note that there is going to be an extra step in financing a property in Nicaragua through a bank in Belize. You have to set up a Belize International Business Company. We introduce you to a couple of firms that you're able to talk to get that Belize IBC set up. Then the title of your property will be held in your Belize IBC as you have the loan. After the loan is paid off, then all of the shares will get sorted into your name for the Belize IBC or transferred to your name in the Belize IBC, and you'll be the sole owner of that. Do note that that is required in order for Belize to finance properties overseas. So do note that there is going to be some extra costs associated with this. It's about $1,000 to set up a Belize IBC, about $600, $700 for annual fees to keep it active. But this is part of the requirement for financing. And because it is through a bank, we don't have any control over that, but just want to make sure you understand what the fee structure looks like. So after we receive your reservation form, then typically 2 or 3 days later, we send you the paperwork. You complete the paperwork. Do note that we need a scanned copy first. Send us back a scanned copy to make sure everything looks good, because you will be putting the originals in the mail to go down to Nicaragua. In Nicaragua, they require your wet signature. I wish they accepted DocuSign, but we're just not at that point yet. So you will need to make sure the wet signatures are in the mail, and those will go to Daniel, our attorney there in Nicaragua. Now, do note, we have had some people who just haven't scanned them, who just decide to mail them instead. I wouldn't recommend that, because it's human nature to miss a line or two to sign. And if that's the case, then you'll have to print it again and sign it again. And that's if you want title. If you don't want title, then we don't need the paperwork, but I do think it is best that you do send that over there. So you'll receive a few different documents in the purchase package. The purchase agreement, of course, that's in Spanish and English. There's a limited warranty on your property. There's an HOA agreement. You'll have a furniture package. Furniture package is required to be part of the rental program. And then there's the Gran Pacifica rental management agreement. In the Gran Pacifica rental management agreement, if you're planning to rent your condo out through Gran Pacifica, then you will complete that, and you'll have your choice of 2 different rental options. The first one's going to be the investor rental program. If you're participating in the investor rental program, your primary motive and goal is your return on investment, is the money that you're getting. If you decide to participate in this program, you have 6 weeks of personal usage per year, 4 weeks during low season, 2 weeks during high season. High season is considered middle of November through middle of May, and then low season is the reverse. So middle of May through middle of November. Again, 6 weeks of personal usage per year, 2 weeks during low season, 6 weeks during high season. 2 weeks during high season, 4 weeks during low season. There we go. All right, so you'll be able to do that option. And then the other weeks that you're not staying there will be into the rental program. And all of the homes are rented on a rotating basis, and they're categorized by model type. And then from there, they're rotated out. Now, if you want to come and go as you please, we do have the lifestyle rental program. If you're participating in that lifestyle rental program, then you can come and go as you please. And then you can opt to have your home in the rental program. And if so, it'll be put in rotation after all of the other homes in the investor rental program are rented out. So do note that there is that slight difference there, but we know for some people it's very important to be able to come and go when they please. For other people, their primary goal and motive is return on investment. So we want to make sure we're categorizing both. So do take a look out for that. You can decide as you're getting closer to your home being complete what you want to do there. Totally up to you, but do note that those are the two options there. And then you will have 7 business days to go through the paperwork, go through questions, and then put those documents, scan them first, and then put them in the mail and send them back to us. Let's jump to the next slide. Oh, I think I can do that. And maybe it's going forward. There we go. All right, and then you can obtain your residency. I'm not going to go through the details here. We went through the Nicaragua 101, but reach out to us if that is something that is of consideration to you. And here's our team of awesome consultants. I'm guessing you've been in touch with one of them, at least at this point. What I really appreciate about all of these folks is they have done it before. This may be a new international journey for you, but they have done the international stuff. They've either opened bank accounts in another country, obtained residency in another country, moved, pack up their bags and went out on their own to go live in another jurisdiction that maybe they had never been before. And so you're not alone in this is what I'm trying to say. You do have a great team of people behind you, and really just here to help you find the community that you may be looking for. So of course, we invite you to join the family. Over time, you will get the chance to meet people. We do like to have opening parties and celebrations as new homes and buildings and communities get opened up. So be on the lookout for that as you decide to join the neighborhoods, and then request your e-copy of this Nicaragua handbook. It is electronic. I've had some people ask to mail it. We don't have any printed copies. We are, trying to do good, trying to be eco-conscious here. So we're not printing tons of paper, but we will email that over to you so that you can get a copy of it and look through it. All right, I'm gonna just say we jump into questions here, guys, so that we make sure we get them answered. All right, I'm gonna start here. This is, thank you for that last slide. If you have questions, there's the email address, or we'll try to go through as many, I'd say, in the next 10 minutes. For all of you that want to stay on with us, you're more than welcome to. And then those questions that aren't answered, your property consultant will be in touch to get those answers for you. But the first one I'm seeing here is from Luke. You talked about masks not being enforced. What about the vaccine? I could tell you, Luke, I'm going to tell you, I have no idea what's going to go on in Nicaragua. They've never mandated a vaccine before, but I know that there's a lot of crazy stuff that's happening in the world, a lot of unprecedented things. So I'm not sure. I can't give you an answer. I don't have a crystal ball. I don't think anybody can give you a definitive answer for anywhere in the world about that, but it would be uncharacteristic if they did mandate it. But at this point, I can't guarantee anything, but I can tell you there are a lot of folks who have asked that question before and ultimately ended up in Nicaragua just because they enjoyed the sense of freedom there. Oh, Luke, another great question. I have 2 small dogs. Is it dangerous for small dogs? No, of course not. We have actually a good number of dogs on property, whether people have brought them down with them from their home country or they rescued them in Nicaragua. That's been cute to see as well. But no, we're very, very supportive of dogs in Gran Pacifica. The only thing I'm going to say is please clean up after them if they do go to the bathroom. Luke is asking, is it easy to get permanent residency and relocate permanently? Yes. It depends on what residency you're looking to achieve, and reach out to us, Luke. We will make sure we get you those details. It just depends if you want to go in as a pensionado, an investor, and what that process looks like. But you really do need to be there in person to apply for the residency. But there will need to be some documents that you bring down with you from your home country. So make sure you jumpstart that ahead of time. All right, I'm seeing Daryl here say how far apart are the homes. Daryl, just let us know what community it is that you're talking about. Some of them are higher density than others, and in other neighborhoods you have an acre plus of land. So it just depends on the community. Moses, he's asking the type of solar panel used. Send us a message. I don't have the name off the tip of my tongue here. I don't know if anybody else on the line does, but do reach out to us and we can certainly get you those answers. All right, I'm seeing Daryl saying, do the prices include the lot? Yes, great question. Or is it turnkey price for the home only? Really great question, Daryl. So it is home and lot. You do own both. That is there included in the purchase price, home site, and the home on top of it. And then also I do want to note that it is full title ownership. So a question I've had so many times is, as a foreigner, do I get title to my property? And the answer is yes. There's no lease, there's no fideicomiso, it's straight title ownership. So great question, Daryl, and thanks for prompting me to mention that as well. Anonymous attendee saying, what is the average timeline between commitment and completion of home? Really great question. So at this point, BELA, which are the beachfront ones, what we do with those is we build in pods. And so we do begin construction after 2/3 of the reservation owners have put in their 50%. So we got to encourage all of our other fellow homeowners to do it. Once we get that money in place, then we are able to start construction. BELA construction, once it does start, is about a 10 to 12 month build period. And that is once we get the 50% in from the 2/3. So we have estimates, of course, based on previous timelines of construction projects. But of course, it can vary a little bit just depending on how quickly people are sending their funds in. For MILA, that one is actually once we receive that first 50%, then we get started on the homes. And MILA is about a 10 to 12 month build period as well. So we don't have to wait for others to begin construction there. And then Ava, we've been building those in groups. So the next grouping that will be constructed is about 3 to 4 weeks is when we'll begin construction on that. And that is about a 6 to 8 month build period. But the construction starts when we get money in from 2/3 of, or actually in that case, because it's already started, we usually begin in groups of 8 and 6 for those, so, or 6 and 8. So just when we get the next set of funds in from that 6 to 8 people, we begin. And when Ava first started, though, we were getting funds in from the first 2/3 of the homes that were sold, so that we were able to purchase. And I do want to explain why that's important, because some people try to create their own payment schedules, and it gets all over the place and can get very dicey. And I understand that you may not be able to have all of the funds for our payment schedule. I would say then wait until the time is better for you to own, because what we do is when you submit that first 50%, we go out and we buy material. If you've been following anything in construction over the last year and a half, you know that a lot of construction materials just skyrocketed in price. And if we were buying materials slowly throughout the construction period, there would have been a very challenging time to get the necessary funds to build. So what we do in order to prevent that, to even take that question out, is we buy all the materials up front, we store it, and then from there we're able to construct accurately and on budget. So as much as I love the creativity of some of these payment schedules, we really do have a payment schedule for a reason. And especially if we're building in pods, it's hard if we're not getting the funds in on that designated time to be moving forward with the entire development. So great question there. David, great question. Do you have to take the fully furniture package, or can you have it non-furniture so you can furnish it yourself? If you're planning to put it into the rental program, you do need to have the furniture package. If you're not entering the rental program at any point, you don't. Again, I've had some people try to get really creative with the furniture package, like I want this, but I don't want this. And if you're planning to live in it and you want it to be really customized, then you can go out and do your own thing, but you can't necessarily pick and choose what you want from the furniture package. But if you're planning to rent your home, you do want to get the furniture package. It really doesn't make sense for you to try to go out and customize it. There are owner lockout closets in all of the homes. So if you have something personal that you like, linens, towels. We had a phone call with someone earlier who wanted to bring a kayak, an inflatable kayak down. You can just put that in your storage. Like, for example, Ava has a storage option, shed option, so you can build a 5x5 or 6x6 shed. You can store it in there. But otherwise, David, unless it really is a personal home, I wouldn't recommend trying to furnish it yourself. Don't even bother yourself with that headache. Just get it done, and then you can enter it into the rental program. Yes, Rosemary's asking about pets. We do certainly allow pets. I'm seeing here, can you pay outright? Of course, Rosemary, you're more than welcome to pay outright. We would certainly appreciate that. And we can talk about incentives if someone prefers to pay everything up front. A local has a full service Okay, I'm not sure. I think, Kent, that one is for me personally, so I'm not going to read that one out loud. Someone's asking about the construction of the Ava Home. So the Ava homes are constructed with cinder blocks and rebar. So this is the most tried and true method within Latin America. We know that it is very durable, it's stable, it is built to withstand any of the elements there. So that is the typical building, and not just within Ava. I know we're talking about BELA and MILA for all of the homes across the board. So it is quite solid. So you can expect that. And that was along the line of siding. So it is concrete. And the homes on sewer or septic. So it does go to the Gran Pacifica septic. So we do have water lines that connect to the homes. And then from there, you're able to get fresh water. And one of the big reasons for that is because we wanted to make sure the drinking water was potable. And we already have the lines there at Gran Pacifica. So have just connected it to all of the different communities there within Gran Pacifica. So it is potable, which is nice. I know that's a question that gets asked quite a bit, because, you know, when you're brushing your teeth or showering and you get a little bit in your mouth, you want to make sure you'll be A-okay. All right. Is there any house in either of the three communities that are already built and for sale now? They're either all under construction or pre-construction. So if you go to Gran Pacifica, you'll see at Gran Pacifica, there are about 46 out of Ava homes that are currently under construction, all at different phases. In MILA, there are some homes from previous build there. We reinvented the layout of the home, so it's a bit of a different model right now, but you are able to see that. Like, you can see, Luke, the construction quality, if that's where your question was going here. But if you wanted to see models, it will be just a little bit more time until we have them up for the three communities. But Gran Pacifica as a whole is a large property. It's 2,500 acres. We have about 80, 90 homes that are already constructed, operating. They are either owner lived in, owner occupied, or they are in the rental program. So you're able to at least get a good feel of what's there. Anonymous attendee is saying, how can I get more information about Panama? Sorry to mention it here. Just reach out to us. Webinar@ecidevelopment.com. You can see it there. Your property consultant will be in touch with you to give you more details about Panama. But, you know, it's fun, because what we typically see is, while some people are looking at this country specifically from the lifestyle perspective, they are also looking at other countries in Latin America as a plan C, D, E, or even B in some cases. And then they'll go between the two. So maybe Panama and Nicaragua, we've seen that quite a bit with the tiny homes, or at least some fun combination of properties within the different ECI communities. But all right, I see that we are way beyond our allotted hour here. I want to thank our team for joining us. I want to thank all of you for staying on. I think a majority, I think probably about only 5-10% of the people ended up hopping off here. So I want to say thank you, everybody, for your attendance here. Yaka, Michael, Ivan, thank you all. And any last words from you, and then we'll hop off.
We just want to thank everybody as well, Rachel. Nika is a great opportunity for folks to just look at and explore. There's so many different opportunities available at Gran Pacifica, but the country is beautiful on a whole. I can't wait to experience a lot of it, and we can't wait to have you there as well.
And from my end, just thank you, everybody. I look forward to being in touch with as many of you as possible. I see some familiar names already. So looking forward to chatting with you guys about the different opportunities. So thank you very much.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.